Victor, you had a view on this earlier on.
I wanted to ask if, because we're talking about the burden being on the men to prove that they're deserving, I'm also curious as to whether the Women's Charter as it stands now, given the cases you've seen, on what basis does a woman qualify for maintenance? Because I have a story of a friend who, this is some time back, so I don't have the details, but what I am aware of was that they were divorced because she cheated on him, but he was obliged to pay maintenance. So I'd like to just ask for clarification on what the burden of proof or what's.
And is it fair?
Is it fair? Yeah.
In such a situation?
Yeah.
Anamah.
I want to know what the facts of the case would be, yeah? But the fact is, I think at the end of the day, maintenance is based on the needs of the woman and the family. So usually when there are children, the maintenance should come about. But whether or not you say deserving, it's not a question of deserving, the needs are there. In the case of men, although it's not in the charter that the men should be given maintenance, in the case of men, I had one very interesting case of a house husband. And this is very early days when house husbands are not known, yeah? And this man had been, they both made an agreement that wife should then go out to continue with her work, which is doing quite well, and he will stay at home. And at that point of time, they were earning about the same salary. And 10 years down the road, wife is doing very well indeed, and decides she wants out of the marriage. They have 2 children. And at the end of the day, I was fighting so hard for this man. I assure you, I do
Have male clients as well.
have male
That's good
clients.
to know.
Yeah. Well, and I felt it was very, very unfair that he only got 20% of this massive wealth that they had created together. And I would have thought that at the minimum I should get is at least 45%.
So why didn't he get it?
He didn't get it because I think it was not at that point of time.
Why
wasn't he going to work? Why can't he get work now? Well, you know, the usual thing, yeah? And unfortunately, maybe at that point of time, the learned judge was not so attuned with what is happening now. And I must say that I did ask my client to go and appeal, but he was not willing to spend extra money.
So in other words, what you're saying is, in response to Victor's question, is it's not a moral imperative.
Yes.
It is a utilitarian factor,
Yes.
right? So in other words, if there's a need,
Yes.
regardless of morally who was
wrong.
who rocked the boat. No, that's not the issue. Who needs to be fed?
Yes.
So it is a very
Yes, very
practical
practical.
consideration. Okay, sorry, Siupin, you had a question.
Yes, I would like to say that I think the term maintenance fees has given usually women a sense of entitlement that regardless of whether you are the one who filed for it, right, you will know that most likely you will have it, and it is definitely not fair to the man. And also, while the discussion was going on just now, I feel very sad upon hearing the word exception. The man, right, has to be exceptionally something in order to get maintenance fees, and it's very sad. It shows that our society is not as progressive as we claim to be.
Wow, I'm so
True.
happy you brought
True.
up that
True.
point. Yay. Okay.
True.
All right.
But we are not progressive. That's a fact.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is a fact.
So we just need to acknowledge it.
Accept that and acknowledge it.
We need to acknowledge it,
Yeah.
but not assert it. Okay.
I mean, you see, the point is, we still come back to the economics, yeah, of the whole exercise. Are women earning equal, yeah, salary with the men? Are they? I think the answer is still not yet.
Yeah, but
Not yet.
But let's not use a broad brush,
Yeah.
Anamah. Let's not use a broad brush. There are different strokes meant for different folks, and I think society has progressed enough for us to have the ability to have different brushes.